Well, here in the United States, gas prices are ridiculous. I mean, they're stupid expensive. And I'm gonna take a hot guess. The last time you bought a car, you probably bought something large or something that wasn't great on gas. Why? Well, because gas prices were cheaper. They were pretty cheap. You expected them to stay that way. Gas may rise, but I should be able to afford it. And you're like, you want to know what? I want a 2-ton Volvo wagon. Or I want a nice sports car. Or I want to splurge and get a minivan for my family. And now you are really feeling the effects of those high gas prices. But there's one issue. You want to get another car. You're like, why don't I just get a daily driver that's great on gas? That way when I'm not taking the kids to school or when I'm not carrying my dogs, I can just have a car that can easily get around. But the issue is, this means you, a car enthusiast, or you, a dad, or you, somebody who grew up in the thousands, have to live the stereotype of the Prius. Get a car that doesn't really make you look like a celebrity, and say it makes you look like a celebrity anyway, and put a cool Prius-nobody sticker on the back of your car, which apparently isn't even a Prius. This is your future. You are forced to get a Prius. Gas prices are just too damn high, and the Prius is the only option. And by the way, if you do want to get a Prius, watch my video on them. Anyway, that is just not true. There are plenty of enthusiast and cool and small and cute and interesting cars that can easily get over 40 miles per gallon if you drive them sparingly and efficiently, that will satiate your thirst to use less gas while still being an enjoyable daily driver. So, without further ado, let's begin this video and get into the list. The Chevrolet Cruze, a wide-eyed, glassy, red-headed stepchild of the Chevrolet family, marketed across the world by thousands of different names, mainly the name Cruze, like the Holden Cruze. Whatever region you're in, it's probably called Cruze, and it's 100% made by GM. The car of your Aunt Bertha, who smokes a lot, with a gray headliner, even though the headliner was originally tan. The official car of young teenage boys who swear it was their dream car after their dad gets it for them and said, "How did you know this is exactly what I wanted?" And believe it or not, they are terrible liars. You don't really think anything of it. It's not really that special. There's no limited editions that are that compelling. There's nothing too cool about it. The engines are boring. It's just your typical, it's like your Camry or your Corolla. You don't notice it in traffic. It's just regular street traffic. But wait a minute, when I said there weren't that many compelling limited editions, I was being truthful, but also a little bit facetious. You see, believe it or not, and I know this is impossible to believe because of GM, there was a compelling version of this car that was semi-attractive, that had excellent wheels, excellent body finishes, got 40 miles to the gallon, and was decently attractive. What version is this? That's right, it is the Chevrolet Cruze Diesel. Now, this had many upgrades from the regular Chevrolet Cruze, my favorite being those wheels. They are perfect, they fit well with the spirit of the automobile, they are fantastic. Believe it or not, it was liked enough to stay through 2 generations, even though it was not made in 2016, and it was actually pretty compelling. Believe it or not, they actually had a manual transmission version in 2017. It's an attractive car, it's a nice car, it's proven to be extremely reliable, much reliable than any other GM Chevrolet Cruze. These things are still on the road. They're a little bit more expensive than a regular Chevrolet Cruze, but it's worth it because 46 highway miles per gallon, 52 miles per gallon highway with a manual transmission, 30 MPG city, 37 combined. Just be a little feather-footed. You know what I'm saying? Keep those revs up. It can easily do 40 miles to the gallon. It's an extremely compelling vehicle, and it is totally worth it. And the best part is, it's not a huge investment. So you spend, $5,000 on one of these, got 100,000 miles, you drive it until gas prices drop, then you lend it off to your brother or sister or whatever, your little cousin who's starting to drive, or you just sell it and get some of your monies back. It's just worth it. Just one small little decision, then you can sell it later. Because again, it's not a new car. These cars on this list are not going to depreciate that quickly if you decide to sell them a few years after you get them. So keep that in mind. They don't depreciate like new cars. Not at all. I'm sure you could buy this thing for $6,000 and sell it for $6,500. They just don't depreciate that much. Moving on, and if you're looking for a diesel, this is really the one that you should get. The 2015, the last year, the most modern version of the Volkswagen Jetta diesel, or TDI. It's extremely compelling. It's just your average sedan. And the best part is the Chevrolet Cruze diesel, it's kind of niche. Not a lot of them were sold. It's kind of limited edition. I mean, enough were sold where you're not really going to have that much hard of a time. But with these, you're actually going to be able to walk into a junkyard. This is the appeal to diesel cars. You can take parts off of regular cars, so they're not as niche as like a diesel-only vehicle. Not that we have any of those in the U.S. because we're too stupid to actually do that like Europe. You can walk into a junkyard and, pitch interior parts from any Volkswagen Jetta. It doesn't even have to be diesel. But I will say, in terms of engine parts and diesel engine parts, the engine that was used in the Chevrolet Cruze diesel wasn't incredibly popular by GM at the time, so parts are going to be a little bit more expensive. But for this, parts are dirt cheap. They're everywhere. They're easy to find. It's, again, extremely compelling. Price is low. It's not going to appreciate that much. And it's a generally nice car. You can have your friends in this car. It can be your beater. You can just slam shopping carts into this thing and then leave the Sienna or the other nice car that you have at home. Or let's just say this is going to be your only car. It's a comfortable, very nice, welcoming, warming sedan. What's wrong with that? There is even a wagon version. Sorry, I forgot it's German and pretentious. A sport wagon version. Alright, now this is kind of cheating, but it's also not, and also one of my friends, when I told them I was doing this video, suggested the Prius C and Prius V. Those are still a Prius, so be grateful I'm not doing that and nickel and diming you here. The Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid since it's so popular now. But the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, specifically from 2021 and 2022. Why? Because they're cheap, forgotten, and parts are abundant. Now, why are these interesting? Well, first of all, they're essentially just a Prius, but in Corolla form. Second reason is you can literally just take the badges off of this car. The front badge is a little bit more complicated because it has all the sensors and stuff, but you can just swap it with a regular Corolla badge, I think. I don't think the part numbers are aligned for the type of car, like hybrid or non-hybrid. I believe they're the exact same, just with the different blue tint and the hubcaps. What you can do is, if you really hate hybrids, you don't want anyone to know you have a hybrid, and you're not planning on having anyone actually ride in the car, or the person that's riding in the car is going to be blindfolded, their ears are going to be muffed, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to be doing that, this will be fine. Just take the blue logos off, put the regular logo on, take some floss and take off the hybrid logo, change the wheel covers out. You don't even have to. Most people wouldn't notice the difference unless they're a car enthusiast, and you could pass this off as a regular gas Corolla. The best part is it got a bigger screen than the regular Corolla, and it got a better dashboard than the regular Corolla, even though it was an LE. You see, they only had one trim level, and that was the LE. And this is good for shopping used, because think about it. The trim level is an indication of the overall quality of the features on the vehicle. If a vehicle has more features than is on the LE did not have any of these features. This is like leather interior, digital gauge cluster. The LE didn't have that. I mean, it had some of that, but not most of it. The fact that this is an LE, or at least marketed as an LE and has these features, means that these prices are going to be a lot lower, in par with, the regular Toyota Corolla Hybrid LE, and not marked up, when actually this should have been like the Toyota Corolla Hybrid XLE, like a nicer model. But instead they just called it the LE, which means the prices on these are really low, and it's not a Prius. So if you want a Prius without being a Prius, and you just want a Corolla, you just want to own a Corolla at some point in your life, get the Corolla Hybrid. Here's another car that you should consider, the Mitsubishi Mirage. Now, a lot of people don't like the Mitsubishi Mirage because they think, it's small, it's a rice burner. That's exactly what you want. You see, what you want out of a car like this, that you buy out of desperation because gas prices are too damn high, or, you just need a car, or you don't really care about cars that much, and all you care about is the fuel economy. This car is perfect for that. A, it's cheap to buy, and it's brand new. Maintenance, it can be covered by the dealership. Like, you get incentives for buying a Mitsubishi Mirage from the dealership. They're cheap. They're like $16,000, and you can get them used for like $8,000, 3 years old with like 100,000 miles. That is a great deal. Like, that's still, like, imagine getting a Toyota Corolla, that's 3 years old and has 100,000 miles. That's a story that's like the first car your dad bought that's still sitting in your driveway with 450,000 miles out there right now. That's like the origin story of a lifetime. That's all these cars have. It's a small, easily portable, cheap little car that will get excellent gas mileage that isn't that offensive to ride in. I mean, I wouldn't really want to have your friends in it, but if you just need a cheap little daily driver to get back and forth to college, just an car, this will do that 1,000 times, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So if you don't really care about cars, you just want a car that's good in gas mileage, don't overlook the Mitsubishi Mirage. It's got everything you need, and you want to know it, if it's really that horrendous, if you don't like the interior, you could just call Catskin, and they will replace the entire thing with supple, tan, Nappa leather. If you don't like that it doesn't have heated seats, you can call Catskin, and they'll install heated seats. If you don't like the head unit, you can buy a new one off of Amazon. on and install it with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This car can have more features. Like, I could buy a base RAV4 and yet make modifications to this car easily. Remember, more easy than on a normal car, because it's so workable, so upgradable, and so modifiable that would make this car technically have more features, like heated and cooled seats, which Cat's Gun does offer, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, that and a bigger screen that the RAV4 wouldn't have. So don't count this out just because it's cheap, or because you don't like it, or because you don't like the way that it looks. If you want a car that's good on gas, that's efficient, that's small, and inoffensive, the Mitsubishi Mirage is 100% for you. Just try not to get in an accident. Alright, and now for the last one on this list of 5, and this is the one that I think, genuinely, you should go out and get. It's my favorite one on this list for multiple reasons, and it is, of course, the Mazda 3. Now, especially the 2015. The reasons are, A, it's luxurious. I mean, Mazda's been trying to move up market for the past few years, and that's useful to you, because when you see someone pull up in a Mazda, you don't just think, oh, that's a cheap little Japanese car. You think, oh, well, you know, they've been doing a lot of luxury advertising, they've been putting new dealerships, some new styles out, some new cars, you know, they're pretty hip and cool. So A, you get free brand reputation there. B, it comes in both a hatchback and a sedan version. So if you just want a classic, you know, cute little sedan, go for that. If you want a hatchback, go for that. It loves some good variety. There's also variety in trim levels. This car can go from being an econo box, you know, manual that you can just beat around and kick around to, you know, something nice and luxurious with tan leather and, you know, the fancy screen. It's very upgradable, very modifiable, and it also gets phenomenal gas mileage. I mean, really, 41 miles per gallon city / highway. Just wonderful. There's different engines. It's so modifiable, and this is just the best car on this list. It rides the best. It drives the best. It's the most reliable, except for kind of maybe the VW, the Volkswagen. That thing's pretty reliable too. I'd say they're about the same. This has just got that Japanese reliability, and the other one's just got that over-engineered German TDI engine, which was always pretty good. It's just an excellent car, an excellent all-rounder, and just an excellent daily driver. It corners well, it handles well, it's an excellent car, it has everything you need it to, and it should be more than enough to get you through this time. You may like it so much that, A, you may either get like a Mazda 5 or something a little bit nicer after this, or you might just keep it because you like it so much. Honestly, I think Mazdas are great, I think they're underrated, and, I mean, the gas mileage from this thing is really phenomenal. Now for just some closing statements. Here, temporarily in the United States, gas prices are rising, and all around the world for the obvious conflict in Iran. I'm not going to get into that because that's not what you clicked on this video for, and honestly, I don't really even... Like, if I watch this video, I wouldn't care either. The point is, gas prices are high, and if you need to get a little car to get you around with some good gas mileage, you go ahead and do that. In fact, my family is even borrowing my cars. I have 2 Toyota Priuses. 2 Prii, you would say. Not Priuses, sorry. I got the acronym wrong. Prii. There was even an official contest and everything. Look it up or watch the Prius video. Essentially, I have 2. I have the 3rd generation and the 2nd generation. My 2nd generation, which is, you know, this little 2008, it's cherry red, it's on its last leg, it's pretty rusted out, because it doesn't have plastic cladding, like the video that I just published today. It is rusting out, but people love it. They really, there are cousins, siblings that are just borrowing this. Even my parents borrowed it when their car was in the shop, and they're just loving it. My mother has a Toyota Corolla Cross, and yet, the 50 miles per gallon, because I replaced the battery. Yes, I know, I decided to, you know, pull the switch and finally replace the battery on the 2nd gen. It deserves it. It's been around for a long time. 280,000 miles. Time for a new battery. Got it a new battery, and she was amazed by the 50 miles per gallon it can get. So I'm saying if you really don't want a Toyota Prius, there are other options, but you should probably just get a Prius anyway. And also, you know, the cars that I have. I have a lot of cars. I have a Sienna. I have a Volvo. But I've been driving the Prius a lot lately. Why? Because it's just nice to not spend that much money. Not that I don't have the money to pay more for gas. It's just nice to be economical and to save a little bit during these trying times. So the moral of the story is you do whatever you need to do to make it through. And if gas prices are really killing you and you don't have the money to get a new car, maybe refrain from driving, get a bike, you know, just the obvious answers. But if you do have a little bit of extra money to splurge on a car, and it is semi-temporary, but remember, these gas prices are probably going to be decently high for at least another year. That's kind of the unfortunate truth. Who knows, maybe it'll shoot down overnight and we'll get lucky or something. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. So what I would do is I would just, if you have a big car like a Volvo or something like that, like an XC90, and gas prices are just eating you alive, pay $6,000 for a Mitsubishi Mirage. Just, I wouldn't go into debt, but just like, you know, use up some savings a little bit just to get one, you know, save that money on gas and then sell it. Hopefully, maybe, possibly, impossibly make a profit, or just sell it for the same price that you got it. Because again, all these cars are used. None of these cars, like, if you put 30,000 miles on a car and try to sell it again, unless it's at like 400,000 miles, even if it was, you are probably going to sell it for the same price that you got it for, because depreciation just stops after about 10 years, and all these cars are about 10 years old. So, like, don't even worry about it. Do whatever you need to do to survive. And without further ado, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all real soon.